Breaking news! A storm is brewing in the NFL, and it's not coming from Kansas City, Buffalo, or Cincinnati. No, it's quietly brewing in Baltimore, and if what we're hearing is true, it could completely change the face of the Ravens defense. This isn't just a rumor. It's not a maybe. It's a real, credible, and explosive development involving one of the fiercest defensive players in the league. A player who could take this Ravens team from a playoff hopeful to a Super Bowl favorite. But here's the problem. It all hinges on one crucial decision. One bold play. And Ravens fans, you won't believe who might be available for trade to make that happen. Before we get into the full story, don't forget to like this post if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you want, comment below, "Go Ravens," to show your pride, and let's see what the pack is really made of. Let's get straight to it. Max Crosby. That name has been circling Baltimore's front office like a shark in the water, and it's no longer a hypothetical. Jay Glazer, yes, that Jay Glazer, the insider who never just throws things out without weight, has officially lit the match. During Super Bowl week, when all the insiders, execs, and big-name reporters finally gather under one roof, Glazer dropped the bomb. Max Crosby is likely done with the Las Vegas Raiders. This isn't some league-wide speculation. This is Max himself reportedly wanting out. "I'm not going through another rebuild," Glazer quoted him as saying. After 6 seasons in the black and silver, enduring 6 head coaches, 9 starting quarterbacks, and only 1 playoff appearance with 0 wins, it's no surprise Crosby is done wasting his prime in a never-ending carousel of mediocrity. He's paid, yes. He plays in Vegas, sure. But this is a warrior who wants to win, and Baltimore, with the right move, could give him exactly that. Now if you're a Ravens fan who's been dreaming about a true impact edge rusher, this is your moment. We've needed someone like Crosby desperately. Watching our defense last season, it felt like quarterbacks had all day in the pocket. Didn't matter if it was Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco, opposing QBs were bouncing around back there like they were in practice. That kind of pass rush simply won't cut it in a championship window. Crosby, even battling through injuries, still produced 10 sacks last season. The man played through a torn meniscus and still wreaked havoc on a defensive line that was otherwise falling apart. Just 2 seasons ago, he was dropping 14.5 sacks and nearly 90 tackles. When he's healthy, and remember, he played 15 games even through that injury, he's elite. We're talking about someone who belongs in the same conversation as TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and Myles Garrett. A legitimate game changer. No, a season changer. So now the million-dollar question, should Baltimore go all in? It sounds like a dream, but what would it take? Jay Glazer said something wild, that it might cost more than what a player like Micah Parsons would fetch. And let's be honest, that's a ridiculous comparison. Crosby is 28. He's not old, but he's not 23. He's coming off 2 straight years dealing with injuries. He's not fetching 2 first-round picks and a cornerstone player. That said, you'll still have to pay up. Here's the proposed scenario. A 2026 first-round pick, 14th overall, plus Marlon Humphrey. That's bold. But think about it. Marlon has value, yes, but we're stacked in the secondary, and we need help up front. If the Raiders bite on that, you take it and run. And if they counter with wanting Roquan Smith instead of Marlon, that's a real debate. Roquan's leadership is irreplaceable, but do you take a shot at finally getting that elite edge rusher we've lacked since Terrell Suggs? It's not just the Crosby factor. It's about who he pairs with. With Jesse Minter now officially in as DC, and Anthony Weaver on staff too, there's a fire being built in this defensive room. But coaches can only do so much. You need dogs on the field who can bring pressure snap after snap. Right now, what do we have? Let's be real. Draymond Jones, free agent. Kyle Van Noy, free agent. David Ohabo, thank God he's finally a free agent. That leaves Tavius Robinson, Mike Green, and Adissa Isaac. Read those names again and ask yourself, is this the group you trust to chase down Patrick Mahomes in January? This defense needs someone who plays with anger, hunger, and leadership. Someone who makes quarterbacks uncomfortable before the snap even happens. Someone who brings that play like a Raven mentality back to the trenches. Because here's the thing, when you start breaking down the details of this potential Max Crosby trade, the conversation gets even more intense. The 14th overall pick alone is already a high-value asset. In most drafts, that's a spot where teams land franchise-changing talent on rookie deals. Combine that with Marlon Humphrey, an established, Pro Bowl-caliber corner, and suddenly, you're not just trading for a player. You're placing a huge bet that Crosby is the missing piece to win now. But that's exactly the kind of move great teams make. They don't sit on assets hoping for the perfect draft pick. They go out, identify the weakness, and get a proven monster to fill it. And there's no one more perfect for that job than Crosby. Now imagine him in purple and black. Jesse Minter calling the shots. Anthony Weaver coaching the front. Crosby with a chip on his shoulder, finally freed from the Raiders' spiral of dysfunction, stepping into a system that thrives on pressure and thrives on making big-time defensive plays in big-time moments. Remember, this is a Ravens defense that's been built on legacy. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, all of them were tone setters. They didn't just make plays, they dictated games. That's what's been missing lately. We've had solid players. Roquan Smith has brought leadership. Kyle Hamilton is turning into a star. But that edge enforcer, that quarterback stalker who completely ruins a game plan, that's what Max Crosby could be in Baltimore. It's not like this would be a move made out of desperation either. Baltimore is coming off a deep playoff run. This is a contender. And Max Crosby isn't some reclamation project. You're talking about someone who's produced even when his team around him collapsed. On a truly elite defense, he might be unstoppable. So, if the price is the 14th pick in Marlon Humphrey, what do we really lose? We've seen the team draft cornerbacks extremely well in the past. And this draft class is loaded at the position. Corner can be replaced, especially with a good front office. Elite pass rush? That's the harder fix, especially in a year where the free agent edge rusher market isn't exactly screaming dominance. Let's talk about that for a second. If you're not trading for Crosby, who are the realistic options? Trey Hendrickson, aging, injury concerns, and probably won't come cheap. Khalil Mack? Yes, he has that Chargers connection with Minter, but we're talking about a 33-year-old with a back injury. Not exactly building for the future there. Jalen Phillips is intriguing, young, and had a solid stint with Philly after the trade, but he's not at Crosby's level. And Draymond Jones? Solid rotational guy, not a tone setter. You're not scaring Joe Burrow with Draymond Jones. Max Crosby is different. He's in his prime. He's already proven. He's built to dominate in January. And if he joins this team, every single offense in the AFC is going to have to rewrite their protection plan starting today. Think about the impact on the rest of the defense. Kyle Hamilton gets to be more aggressive. Roquan Smith doesn't have to clean up so much because Crosby's disrupting the backfield. Young pass rushers like Adissa Isaac get better reps, better matchups, and grow faster. It all cascades. And let's not forget the message it sends to the locker room. This front office isn't playing it safe. They believe in the core. They believe in Lamar. They believe in this window. And they're willing to push the chips into the middle of the table to go get it. That's what championship teams do. But here's where it gets tricky. What if Las Vegas asks for more? What if they want Roquan Smith instead of Marlon? Or both a player and 2 picks? At what point does the price become too high? You've got to ask, is Max Crosby the difference between falling short again and holding that Lombardi? Because everything about this deal screams win now. And the Ravens, after another season of playoff heartbreak, don't have time to wait. And just to really hammer this home, this isn't just about Max Crosby the player. It's about Max Crosby the mentality. This is a guy who doesn't just show up on Sundays. He's a relentless, high-motor, every-down defender. You watch him play, and you can tell he takes it personal. Every snap, every rep, that's exactly the kind of player Baltimore fans gravitate toward. That play like a Raven energy? Crosby lives and breathes it. And the fact that he's the one pushing to leave Vegas? That tells you everything. He's hungry. He wants to win. He's not looking for comfort or a paycheck. He's looking for legacy. He's looking for a team built to compete in January and February. He's looking for a defense with identity, structure, and leadership. Now ask yourself, if not Baltimore, where else would give him that? And make no mistake, if the Ravens drag their feet on this, there are at least 10 other contenders ready to pick up the phone. Jay Glazer said it himself, over 20 teams inquired about Crosby the same day rumors heated up. That's half the league. So this isn't one of those situations where Baltimore can sit back and wait for the perfect price. If they want him, they need to move. That 14th overall pick isn't going to hold as much value once free agency hits and other teams start getting desperate. Right now, before the market opens, the Ravens can use that pick as leverage. They have clarity, they have cap room, and they have a real chance to upgrade the most important weakness on their roster. And fans, just imagine it. Max Crosby walking into that Ravens facility, suiting up in purple and black, lining up in week 1 across from Myles Garrett, or chasing Patrick Mahomes on primetime television. M&T Bank Stadium would erupt. This would energize the entire fan base. And more importantly, it would put the rest of the NFL on notice that Baltimore isn't here to rebuild,